I say the same few words almost before I start any live video. I'm filled with hesitation. I mean, again, I probably hesitate much less than the average content creator or live goer. I think I've done a lot of videos. I know I've done a ton of videos. Hello, Chris Jackson. Hold on one second. I'm going to go let my dog, you're going to come with, let my dog Holly in this section of the house. Because if I don't let her, come here, Holly. If I don't let her in this section, Holly, this section of the house. Hello, Chris Jackson. It's going well. I feel good today. If I don't let her in this section of the house, which is my sunroom, she is liable to see a dog walking by and bark like a crazy, crazy, crazy beast like she does whenever dogs go by. And I don't want her barking like a crazy, crazy, crazy beast. Hey there, Brian Finnegan. Because if she does that, she's very liable to wake up my two little ones that I just laid down for sleep. And they're comfortable and are just probably finishing up their babas in their cribs. Hopefully taking their pacifiers, shoving them in their mouth, and laying down to sleep. And I don't want to break that serenity or all the silence at all. So I'm glad I brought Holly in here. Holly, you got a bed right there. Look at this. She does. She has a bed right there. She likes to play the guitar sometimes as she naps. But she's not today. Come on, Holly, go lay down. You've got enough pets. It's a constant squabble between me and Holly. I wonder how the lighting is here. Again, I'm in my sunroom. And despite the amazingly sunny day we're having, it's really darn chilly out there. I think it's in the mid-20s right now, which is kind of normal for end of February weather. But yesterday, we might have got all the way up to 75 degrees. And I'm coming at you from Naperville, Illinois, which is a town of about 150,000 people, about 35 miles west of Chicago. And just when I went out this morning, after being used to almost being hot yesterday as I moved around, it was pretty shocking as I walked Holly this morning before I did my first sit video. So anyway, good afternoon to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. Ouch. I've got my stand where I'm holding my phone slightly propped up on a little, 4 or 5 inch little box to give me a little different angle. A lot of times I'll pop the camera, lean it against anything on any table I'm near, and just roll with it. And I believe in rolling with it, but I've been rolling with this show for about 5 years. And I figure I might as well roll with it as learning a thing or two along my 5 years. And one of the things I've learned is if I prop it up a little bit more, I think the angle looks a little bit better. So here I am today. But anyway, like I said, good afternoon to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. This is a show, and I got to clear my throat. This is a show I've been doing for about 5 years. It'll be 5 years in June. It's a show about me talking and sharing some experiences and sharing some feelings. Hello, Celeste. Hello, Kelly Harp. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Wits Cree, for joining. Again, it's a show about me sharing some feelings and some thoughts and some stuff and the life of I'd say I'm a typical 55-year-old. I don't know if I'm typical at all. Is anybody typical? What is typical? It probably does not look like me. But I am a 55-year-old guy who grew up outside of Chicago, has spent most of my life in the Chicago suburbs, and still live here in a town called Naperville, and had a lot of highs and lows. I've made a lot of money. I've been totally broke. I've experienced a ton of happiness, and been really down on myself and my life and my feelings at various times in my 55 years. And this show is just kind of me telling the story that is my life, and hopefully I've some of my experiences or some of my challenges. Hello, Nolan. some of my experiences or some of my challenges that I've been through and learning experiences maybe will provide some value to one of my viewers that's out there watching. So thank you, and I'm going to try and get a little more comfortable. If you, by the way, I don't know. For those that don't know, I have two beautiful little babies that are about 1.5 years and about 3. I have 3 stepkids, which will get me to this story. I don't know. And I have 2 older girls from my first marriage. My stepson has a thing with socks. He has a thing with socks. He wears them and then he takes them off and shoves them in hiding spots in the couch. So I'm sitting here trying to get comfortable. I look down and shove between the cushions on the couch were 2 dirty socks. And I will tell you, it's a struggle for me as I walk the line of trying to be a stepdad and teach the kids responsibility and what have you, and teach them how to pick up after themselves and take out the garbage and brush their teeth and comb their hair and get dressed and get out the door. All the while trying to learn how to accept that they were raised a little different before I came on the scene, and accept them for who they are. They're sock hiding, non-garbage taking out, non-mowing the lawn kids that they are. Lana Marie asked, am I more confident as a parent now compared to the first time? Oh yeah, much. I think before I had my first 2 kids, I would have been terrified as heck marrying a woman who has 3 kids, because, I don't know, I screw up a ton as a dad. I'll yell at my kids. I get a temper. I'll, whatever, get angry or get pissed off or stomp around or whatever. But the one thing I have a lot of is love. And I love the stuffing out of a lot of things, but I've never felt more love than I felt when I had my first 2 daughters, and then I had my next couple. And I was fully confident in my ability that even if I screw up a whole bunch of things and do whatever it is that I do or what could do, if I tell them I love them, it's ridiculous. But if I tell them I love them 10 times a day each, I'm probably doing something right. And hug them and kiss them and cuddle them. And yeah. I'm comfortable changing diapers. I had my first son and my second wife, so I've never had to clean around a little penis, if you will. And but that went smoothly. I've got some experience dealing with the male anatomy as that I am a male. But no, I was pretty darn confident second time around. Again, I'm not at all perfect, at all. But I do know that I have a lot of love to give my babies. And you have a big margin for error if you, I don't know, cuddle your kids and you kiss your kids and you love your kids and what have you. You can probably screw up in other areas, and I probably do. So it works out pretty well. But anyway, as I was saying, for those that have been watching a while, you know it's not just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, you know it's also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. You can see here, it says Coffee with Ken. Somebody had commented on a video that I did this morning. They wish they had one of these mugs. Story behind these mugs: 2 years ago, I was separated from my wife, and I was just getting coffee with Ken. I was saying, hey, I'm pretty good at talking to my phone. I'm pretty good at telling my stories. And I was a realtor at the time. And I was trying to leave real estate because I'd done it for, at that time, maybe 15, 16 years. And I didn't. That's okay because I'm social and fairly smart. But I wasn't great because I wasn't great. And I did okay, but I wanted to do more than okay, and I wanted to make a difference. So I wanted to spread the brand that is Coffee with Ken, and I bought, maybe 600-700 of these mugs. and was giving them out. Was it 600 or 350? I don't know. But I bought a bunch of these mugs and was giving them out to local people, trying to spread the brand and grow the brand. And I'd had some people watching the show for a while, and I just thought it was cute. But I haven't bought any in a couple of years. You can currently buy some Coffee with Ken mugs. I don't think they're the same on the link to my bio in my on my profile. But again, I don't think they're the exact same. I'd like them to be, but they're not at this moment. So I don't know. That's my story about the mugs. And speaking of the mugs, I got a nice hot mug of coffee in front of me, and I'm excited to have my first sip. My hope is that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee. I don't think coffee's just for breakfast anymore. I'm okay. I could drink it up till I went to bed, and it wouldn't faze me. But I enjoy the taste, and I don't know. When my conversation starts to get lame or starts to get dry, I can always talk about the coffee. So I'm excited to have my first sip. I hope you have a beverage of choice in front of you. Cheers to us. It's the hazelnut. It's the 8 o'clock coffee hazelnut brand. I usually buy Starbucks. My favorite coffee, 2 coffees of all time, are pumpkin spice and cinnamon dolce. And the Sumatra I got to put in my top favorite as well, all by Starbucks, and they're all delicious. I got a bunch of other coffees I drink, but I'm also very frugal. And I don't like overpaying for things. It drives me crazy. I won't do it. I almost won't do it. I'll wait. I'll go into a huge grocery store to get a gallon of milk for $2.50 versus paying $3.99 at a gas station or a convenience store. I don't know if it's on principle or on cheapness or on what have you, but I will and I do. And I don't know if it makes my life harder or more difficult, but that's kind of who I am. So I don't like overpaying for things, and the coffee I wanted to buy was like $10.99 a bag, and it said it was on sale. I found that even more insulting than if it didn't have a sales sticker on it at all, because I usually pay $7.99. So I passed on it and picked up a couple different bags, one of these 8 o'clock hazelnuts and a Cameron's vanilla hazelnut that I really enjoyed and drank a lot of. Mojo Jody, which almost rhymes, says Aldi's for the win. Yeah, Aldi's is good. And Aldi's is good. Aldi's is good. My favorite store to shop at, I worked at a Super Target for 7 months last year. Teddy Kizzy, Teddy Kizzy, I'll answer your question. He says, looking good. What's my height, weight these days? Well, my height has not changed a lot. I'm still 6'2", which I've done a couple videos, one of which has been seen over 100,000 times, about the genetically perfect height for a man is 6'2". I'm serious. You Google the average height of a Major League Baseball player, and it's 6'2". And I didn't know this before I started thinking it. I just enjoyed my height. I liked that I was tall enough to play most sports, but not so tall that I couldn't ever sit in a back seat or I couldn't fly coach or what have you. And I did this video, and I happened to Google it. What's the average height of the Major League Baseball player? And it's 6'2". And I go, wow, that's interesting. It backs up my theory. I pursued it further. The average height of an NFL football player is also 6'2". So I'm sticking by that. So my height is 6'2". My weight was 209.8 yesterday, which is down about 10.5 pounds in the last 5 or 6 weeks. I've started, I don't want to call it a diet because I think a diet is something you do short term to see, I don't know, that usually doesn't work because you end up gaining your weight back and then some. But I realized about 5 or 6 weeks ago that I don't know. First of all, I was at Starbucks and I realized I was hungry. And I immediately thought, hey, let's go get a donut or something from Starbucks, whatever I wanted to buy. And rather than do that, and I've been trying to lose about 10, 15 pounds for 6 months and working out pretty darn consistently. Rather than do that, I thought for a minute, I said, self, what if I didn't go buy a donut right now and I just spent the next 2-3 hours being hungry? What's my body going to do? I'm not going to lay down on the floor and not move. I'm going to keep going about my 2 or 3 hours, but my body's going to have to get energy from somewhere. And if I'm hungry, it probably means my belly's more empty than not. And I've gone with this, and instead of counting calories, because one thing I've never been good at, whether it's with gambling or alcohol or eating or whatever, is moderation. And I struggle if I know having a small bowl of ice cream or, I don't know, small anything. Small anything. I tend to do when I used to drink, and I haven't drank alcohol in 2.5 years, I also used to always buy the biggest beers they'd sell just because I liked them, because I liked the big cold mugs. And so anyway, I struggle with that and struggle with moderation, and I realized I've been working out hard for 6 months. Hello, Brian. Even though I'd been working out hard for 6 months, my weight hadn't changed. And I know when you work out, you build muscle, you get stronger, and muscle apparently weighs more than fat. So a little bit could be that. But I was still carrying, I don't know, probably 15 pounds of useless fat around my midsection. Now I have about 5 pounds of useless fat around my midsection. I'm down about 10 pounds, in the last 5.5 weeks, I believe. I've been losing about 2 pounds a week, which I think is sustainable and healthy. I don't want to keep losing that much weight. And the way I do it, the way I started doing it was eating 2 big meals a day and really not eating anything else besides that, and not snacking and not eating because I'm bored or what have you. And I think I was losing weight a little too quickly. And now I've started adding kind of a half meal in the morning if I want, or I don't mind snacking a little bit during the day, but I'm just much more aware of it. And the key to it is realizing when you are hungry, you are losing weight. When you are full, you are gaining weight. And I don't think you need to count calories. I don't think you need to eat only, the Miami diet or the keto diet or what. You do whatever you want. But I realized the more hours a day that I spent feeling hungry, the more weight I would lose. And I'm not trying to be a dietetic guru or say I know the answer to pi to the 17th digit, because I don't. But what I do know is I struggle eating a small bowl of ice cream. When I eat ice cream, I want to eat all that I want. If I have a gyro, I want to get a huge one. If I want a hamburger, I want bacon and an egg on it in a perfect world. And that's just the way it works. So what I do is go to town two times a day, and I just ate a huge tray of nachos, with a ton of hamburger on it, because I do think protein satisfies you longer term than carbs do. And I'm full as heck right now. And I didn't stop because I was counting my calories. I stopped because I was full as heck. I probably won't eat again till 6 or 7 o'clock tonight. Somewhere around 4 or 5, I'll start feeling a little bit hungry. And for those next 2 hours, I'll be losing weight. And it's worked. And again, I drop about 2 pounds a day. So it feels pretty good, because I don't think it's a diet as much as just a change of thought when it comes to eating. And honestly, I talk about it a lot because I so believe it and so know how it's easy for me to do. I'm not trying to punish myself. I'm not trying to restrict how much I eat. I'm going, hey, I'm hungry. I'm probably losing weight. I wanted to lose weight. Let's do this. And it's working. It's working. Again, I'm down about 10 pounds in the last 5 or 6 weeks, and it feels pretty good. So I'm going to drink a little more coffee. What I'm a little surprised at, I stopped drinking alcohol 2.5 years ago. And I talked about it before. I was drinking about 8 beers a day for most of my life, probably for 35 years or so. And that's from 18 till I was 53. And 18 is when I went to college. I dabbled with alcohol in high school. But when I got to college, especially my sophomore year, when I joined a fraternity, it was Katie Bar the Door. Once again, I'm not good at moderation. I don't If I have a cookie, I'm liable to have 10 or 20. If I have a beer, again, I want all that I can. I don't stop. And I remember there'd be times when I'd only, and these were tough times for some reason, I couldn't get to the store, couldn't afford more beer. I'd have 2 beers in the fridge, and my wife would say, "Hey, should we each have one?" And I'd say, "No, you go ahead and have both," because I knew if I had one beer wasn't going to do me any good. If I have one beer, I want 10. If I have one cookie, I want 10. If I have a small bowl of ice cream, I want to eat the rest of the carton. So with my new thought on eating, I do get to eat the rest of the carton. I do get to eat all the cookies I want. I do get to eat as big of a hamburger as I want, but I only get to do it twice a day. And again, I'm down 10 pounds in 5.5 weeks, maybe 11, although I just ate a huge tray of nachos with nacho cheese. That Tostitos, the Tostitos cheese, let me tell you. A lot of times, because I've always liked nachos. Who doesn't like nachos? Who doesn't like nachos? Who doesn't like Mexican? But anyway, I used to put the kind of grated Mexican or cheddar cheese over it and microwave it up. And that's okay. But I'll tell you what, when you microwave the grated cheese, and I assume you know what I'm talking about, comes in a bag, 2-pound bag or a pound bag or whatever. It melts, but then it hardens up again in within a minute. And you're kind of pulling the nacho chips apart, and the cheese is no longer melted or even warm. You buy the Tostitos, kind of liquefied cheese, and you pour it on. You microwave it with some ground beef for, I don't know, depends on how much you're having, 45 seconds to a minute. And you have a delicious lunch or a delicious snack. Although with my new way of thinking, I don't snack as often as I did. So, but just that can be whipped up in just a little bit of time, and I think tastes fantastic. I mean, I could probably eat it I could eat pancakes for every meal. I could eat breakfast for every meal. I could eat pizza for every meal. I could probably eat lasagna for every meal. Anyway, let's drink a little more coffee. Hello, Zach. How are you? But anyway, what day is it? It's Wednesday afternoon. It's a chilly day. The sky is blue behind me, as you can see. I think out through the windows, the sun is shining. My three. You're always happy, Ken. I need your secret. Arizona, I appreciate it. I'll get back to that in a minute. Because I just finished. I said my 3 babies upstairs. I only have 2 babies. And I was going to say I have 3. Somewhere up there, since I laid them down, they've cloned them. One of them cloned themselves, and another one's up there. But I only have 2 babies. Arizona asked, "You always happy, Ken? I need your secret." Arizona, I'm not always happy at all. I'm always, I'd say, fairly emotional. And I talk about it a lot in my videos. I probably cry. I probably cry more than any man you have ever seen. Seriously. I sometimes feel the weight of the world and feel like I can't move forward in the day or get up out of bed or take my next step or clean another plate or, whatever. And I have struggled and have felt more pain. I'm not trying to get you to feel sympathy, but it's funny because you asked about always being happy. I think I'm more joyous and more full of happy than 98% of the world. But I also have more sad times or more dark times or more worry or more fret or more fear than probably 65% of the world. And so I struggle. I cannot tell you. I used to have massive troubles. I used to treat those troubles. And it's not like I don't have massive troubles. I was seeing my therapist and telling her how depressed I was the other day. And then the next time I'll come in and, just depends what's going on. And like I said, I have a lot of highs and lows. Respect the wrinkles. Thank you, Bert Bubbles. I appreciate you. I don't really appreciate you calling me a senior citizen. I'm a young 55-year-old. I'm spry. I'll tell you what. For anyone out there, Uh, yeah, okay, Bert Fubbles. I'd like to see you go to the gym with me, Bert Fubbles. I bet you anything. I don't even know who you are. I could lift more weight than you in almost anything. And the reason I say that, I've been working out. I'm in my 7th month right now, and uh, been lifting weights fairly consistently. I been lifting weights fairly consistently, and I am shocked. And I'm not trying to be vain, but I am shocked how strong I am, how much I can bench press, how much I can curl, my lat pulls. Everything I do is probably more as not quite as much. I mean, there were times I used to lift a lot when I was 25 to 30, and I was lifting a lot. But I used to be a runner. I used to be really fast. I walked on to my University of Illinois college team and ran for a couple of years there and ran many marathons. But I can't run around the block today. I mean, I maybe could, but I still can lift a lot. And it tells me if you don't use it, you do lose it. I thought it was just a natural byproduct of aging. Um, but I'll tell you, I've been consistent. I've been working out 2 or 3 times a week for my 7th month now, and the weights I am lifting today are as much as I was ever lifting, and I'm honestly just kind of shocked about it. I got some more aches and pains. I only work out a couple times a week versus every other day. I got some sorenesses and aches, but I am just saying it because I'm surprised how at 55 how strong I am. And it feels good. It feels good. I'll tell you what, I love it. I love going to the gym. Love going to the gym. Didn't feel like it yesterday. Was kind of in a down mood. Somebody asked me how if I'm always happy. I was kind of feeling down. I was fighting with my wife or something stupid, and just feeling emotional and spent, and had some aches and pains, and didn't feel like going. But I realized how good it feels when I do go. And so I went. I did kind of a a variation of my usual workout. I probably did more reps, but a little less weight, just to keep it interesting and to freshen things up. And I would say it was a little bit easier, but not a ton easier, and still got a good workout, and still had a great hot shower when I was done, and still felt great as I'm walking out the gym. So, yeah. I'm going to drink a little more coffee. Excuse me. I just burped up my nachos. Hello, Taylor. By the way, I always edit all these live videos, and I post them to TikTok and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram as shorts and reels and TikToks and what have you. And I am a stay-at-home dad 4 days a week, but I'm also, and I'm going to say a content creator, and that's the very probably first time I've ever not said, I'm an aspiring content creator. And I need to get a little better attitude, because creating content in its truest form isn't about how much money you make. And the truth of the matter is, I make a little bit of money posting these videos and going live, but I don't make nearly enough to pay my bills, or, you know, yeah, I pay maybe, I make a little bit of money on it, but not nearly enough. So because of that, I've always been, anytime I'd say I'm a content creator, I wouldn't say I'm a content creator. I'd say I'm an aspiring content creator. Again, putting all the value on how much money I made. When in reality, here I am. I'm creating content right now. I post a ton of shorts and reels and TikToks by editing these videos, and I think they make a difference, because I talk about mental health, I talk about sobriety, I talk about relationship struggles, divorce, financial highs and lows in a very frank way that I don't think most people would be comfortable doing. But I don't know. Well, thank you, Rick. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I talk about my troubles more comfortably than I do about my successes, for whatever reason. Like a couple minutes ago, I was talking about how strong I am lifting, and I felt embarrassed about that. But it's easy for me to say I couldn't do a pull-up the other day or something like that. And I think that's probably true for a lot of us. I think a lot of us are our own worst critics, and probably have negative inner voices, and I talk about this a lot. I know a lot of times I have a really, really tough inner voice on myself, And yeah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be mean to yourself. You shouldn't be. It shouldn't be mean to anybody, but certainly not mean to yourself. Because if you're mean to yourself, you're probably mean to those in the room with you, and mean to the people in your life, and mean to the grocery clerk, or mean to the teacher, or mean to the person that works underneath you. And that's not a good way to be. Because you might say you're okay with it, and you might say you feel great. But I think not only are we our own worst critics, we're also our judge and jury and executioner of ourselves. And if we know we're doing bad in this world and bad to the universe, I don't think we can possibly feel real good about who we are or what we're doing or the direction we're going. So I'm going to drink a little more coffee. Feels good hopping on live. I haven't done a normal live after I put my kids down for, I don't know, at least a week. I'm still so behind in content editing and posting more videos, and but I don't know how much is right or how much I should do or how often I should post. I see a lot of people saying you shouldn't post too often, but I don't know. I got content, I'm going to post it. I think if you're a musician, you should put out as much music as you can. If you're a painter, you should get the paint the biggest mural and the most murals you can, and let the chips fall as they may. So if I got something to say, I'm going to say it. And rather than save it for tomorrow, I've already posted 3 videos today, I'll save the video for tomorrow. Sometimes I think about saving it, but I end up posting it as it comes out. Shannon, hey Shannon, asks how my girls doing in track. I'll tell you what, they're doing great. My daughter Morgie, who's a freshman in high school, has only done 1 meet, and I talked about it at length in a first sip video. She did 2 races, the 55 and the 200. She tripped in her very first high school race ever and fell and hit the ground and scraped her knee and scraped her elbow, but she got up and she finished the race. And I thought that was so cool, and just a perfect metaphor for life and for getting knocked down and picking yourself up and finishing the race. And, probably she was a little embarrassed, but she was okay and smiled the rest of the meet and ran a really great 200 meters later in the day. My bigger girls had her best 2 races have been a mile she did in her first meet, and she ran an awesome leg of the 2-mile relay in her last meet, which was Saturday. Unfortunately, I couldn't see her meet on Saturday. It was far away, and I was with my 2 babies. But she has a meet coming up this Saturday, and I'm hoping I can work something out and get to it and cheer her on. Because one thing I do like doing in life is cheering on my kids. Rick says his daughter's in track. Very cool, Rick. I was a track and cross-country runner. I think it's a great sport. It's not easy. Sometimes I feel bad for her, and I don't think was blessed with all the gifts in the world or all the natural talent, but she has determination in excess. And I tell you what, it's not that fun going out on a Thursday and running 8 miles. It's just not a ton of fun. A lot of sports, and granted, I didn't play baseball at a really high level or, soccer or whatever, but my thought is those are games. And almost by definition, games are fun. Training, which running is almost by definition not fun. So I feel bad. She'll go out and have a hard workout or what have you, and she'll be nervous about it all day. And I don't know. It's tough. Thank you for joining, Joe. And again, I'm happy to be on today, and I'm feeling good, and I'm getting my caffeine going, and I'm trying to stay hydrated, and I'm trying not to lean too far forward because I got my plate of nachos in my belly. And I'm excited that I probably have, I don't know, maybe 2 more hours of my kids sleeping if I play my cards right. And who knows what fun I'll get into over the next 2 hours while my 2 babies are sleeping. And probably clean the house, maybe probably post some videos and edit some videos and hopefully be as productive as I can and get some things done and feel good about the night and just get ready for the rest of my day and probably drink a couple cups of coffee in there as well. So again, it's Wednesday. All right, Shannon, thanks for stopping in. It's Wednesday, end of February, just about the last day of February. Can't believe we're 2 months through the year already. But we are. And again, time goes fast, so enjoy it. I don't know if that guy that was calling me grandpa or whatever a little bit ago, he's going to be 55 years old when he wakes up tomorrow. Suddenly, you're 25 one day and you're 55 another, and I know I sound like an old fart when I say that, but I am telling you, my mind still says I'm, I don't know, 25 years old, but the calendar says I'm lying. So I just say enjoy your day and enjoy your moment and try and focus on the now and be kind to yourself and be loving to yourself. And even if you're struggling inside, know that you're not the only one struggling. Even people with huge smiles struggle from time to time. And it doesn't matter how fancy your car is or how nice your house is or what have you. People from all walks of life have struggles and issues and anxieties and fears. And so if you're out there hurting, know that you're not alone. And do your best to keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep smiling more than you cry. And loving yourself, and that's where it all begins, and forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.